Right, here we go. Audio test 1, 2, 3. Looks like we are live. Good morning, y'all. Monday, December 15th on NASDAQ futures, and got about 4 minutes till open. Just one quick reminder: today and tomorrow is the last day for the Apex 90% off sale, so you can get an eval account, 50K up to 250K, maybe even their 300Ks for like $19. Super good deal. And then their activation fee is the cheapest I've seen it in years. So if you pass the eval to activate the funded account, it's like 60 bucks. Usually that's more like 120. So link below, coupon code BJT if you want to support the channel. So diving into NQ. Now, we are 3 minutes until the 9:30 open, the blue line, and we formed an inversion. We have a bearish SMT up in this zone. There's a lot going on up in here: a 4-hour fair value gap, 1-hour fair value gap. This is one standard deviation of this manipulation leg. This is 2 standard deviations of the London manipulation leg. This is close to the 130 ADR. So there's a lot going on up in here. I'm curious to see what happens at this zone. I'm kind of anticipating some means of retracement back down into these equal lows, and then I could take a long. Now this is interesting. So we're pre-open. If it came up a little bit deeper into this, I could potentially see shorting this as well. So we shall see. This inversion failed. And one of the interesting things I want to note about this session is this is the first session I've seen this year where the candles start to look like low volume garbage. So look at this stretch of price action. We see this a lot like in January, maybe February even. What we can just see is a lot of wicks and a lot of tails and a lot of small bodies. So a lot of indecision within these 1-minute candles. And today's Monday, and no news, so we can expect more, the possibility of one-sided delivery. And also tomorrow is non-farm, which usually non-farm's Friday. So that threw me for a bit of a loop when I saw that, which means we're going to be a little cautious today. We have some signals saying today's going to be a little dicey with these candles that I'm seeing here, day before non-farm. So here we go. We got still some equal lows below. I'm seeing this whole thing as a gap here. We don't have any bearish SMT that I can see, so looking around for that. All right, 9:30 open. So like this is I don't like taking a short on the first candle of 9:30, or well, any trade. I like them a lot better when you get 2 or 3 candles. So we do have a bearish SMT currently starting to form. This is a new 15-minute candle. Every 3 is $100. So I don't like how this candle swept these equal lows. YM, look at this, all this low volume candles. Like, how do you? That's New York pre-market, like 8 o'clock in the morning. Wow. Okay. So that would have technically been a close below this inversion. I wanted to include this volume imbalance, but I think it might have been a little too late because it's just going to move now. So really, that volume imbalance might have been a little too far away. Dang. I was wanting to close below that volume imbalance. And that would have been TP hit. All right, so I want to see price distribute a little further down. Hmm. kind of eyeballing if it were to confirm a long above this first presented fair value gap. But I really want to see it dig deeper. And I'm also not seeing a 100% clear SMT. I mean, we do have PD array SMT, but that's not one that I guess I've used in my rule set for the only SMT. I also don't like how big this stop would have to be. The volatility would need to continue for me to get my 3R. Okay, so it's trading down. I like that. I want it to go down further. Create some more local targets first. There we go. All right, so we're coming to the end of the 920, 940 macro. So 2 is 100. Okay, so it's outside of the macro window by 2 minutes. Now 3 minutes, 2 minutes. Came down into the zone I wanted. We have PD array SMT. Looks like YM is doing a reversal already, potentially leading the pack. Here's ES, not doing anything yet. Let's see. So I'd love one more 15-minute candle to form, sweep some of this liquidity, form an SMT, and then give a long in the next macro. So we got my prediction. I wanted to see that delivery to sell side. Now it is possible that this was a bullish retracement, and then it actually wants to continue bearishly, delivering bearishly. That's totally possible. But if it's going to be long, it's going to be long from somewhere down in here. Okay, new 15-minute candle. Coming down into 2.5 standard deviations of this little manipulation, so some extra confluence there. I think it wants low. I mean, looking like it wants lower. YM is not leading with a reversal. Bummed I missed that short right out of the gate. We do have some nice trend line liquidity forming here. Not amazing, but nice enough. So that gap just got tapped a little bit. I don't like this. Go down. I don't like that inversion. It's a short stop, but it's a small inversion. Don't like it. Don't make me second guess myself. Thank you. Keep going down like YM. It's not showing responsiveness. You can see that there is downward pressure on these candlesticks. And this fair value gap is pretty small. I like a balance in them because small, you get a super short stop loss and take profit. Looks like she's going to want to close above. There is this volume imbalance, but that's a whole long ways away. So strong close above, but doesn't really give me so everything lines up, but I don't like this inversion. So look at that. Noting that in my playbook, my daily review book. What we can sometimes see is around the 2.5 standard deviations, we can see a consolidation phase and a continuation. So there's the possibility for a continuation model sometimes around 2.5 standard deviations. Here there kind of would have been depending on what you were looking for. Not for me though. And then at this point, not forming a long right here has kind of gotten me suspect of longs. We do have some nice equal lows down in here. All right, so YM's taken London and Asia low. ES has taken London low. I'd love to see NQ push down into here. Leave me a gap, and I'd still be interested in a long. That's like the line in the sand, though. At that point, I would feel pretty offsides. Beyond that. Still just waiting. My bias is slowly switching a little more bearishly. I'm still willing to take a long down here. This is about the line in the sand for any long. And even then, it might just be a retracement long. We have some major gaps above, and the 1 hour candle is about to close, meaning there's going to be this huge 1 hour inefficiency, and I could potentially expect some kind of retracement to balance some of it out. We shall see. So on the weekly, I'm kind of like a little bit of a neutral bullish bias. Daily, I'm a little bit, the daily trend is bullish, but it looks like it's in a bearish retracement. 4 hours is a similar thing, where it's a bullish retracement and bearish price action. So kind of got the time frames are not aligned, in my opinion, which tells me to be cautious. I feel like I don't particularly like the waiting for all the time frames to align because I feel like you don't get any trades. And to some extent, that's really hard to do. I already don't trade a ton. You know, I'm lucky if I get a trade in a day. All right, so London low, Asia low's taken. Would like to see some displacement from here. Really have an SMT though now. Do we? No. All right, so tapped into the new week opening gap, tapped into the opening price. Like this would be a really good spot for a long if there was SMT. The regular trading hour gap is filled. But it also looks like it's forming a New York high a day, which would make sense. There's a lot of reasons to be bearish. So at this point, the new week opening gap has been filled. Show you over here. New week opening gap, regular trading hour. And so this is starting to be, you know, here's all these inefficiencies I would like to see rebalanced to. We have a new 1 hour candle now, taking this previous hour's low. And so all of this inefficiency here, but I don't have any SMT, so possibly. So, you know, bullish order flow rejection from this fair value gap. 4 hour close below. So right here, I'm anticipating a reaction of some kind, but I don't think I can get in on anything here. There's no SMT, my model's not here. We've reached 4.5 standard deviations of that original manipulation. At this point, it's creating some nice trend line liquidity still. See that? 10:02, 10:03. And these candles do look a little funny to me still. There is still something odd about these candles. I feel like I'm going to draw for a second. I guess these trend lines are like really perfect, and it's super steep. You know, that's like a probably more than a 45-degree angle downwards. So that channel right there is just an odd thing I've not seen too much. There's channels all the time everywhere, but like even looking over here at this channel going upwards on the 1 hour, it kind of, you know, broke it right here and created a little bit of a double hump. Just interesting. So I'm pretty much not interested in longs at this point. I could be into a short potentially, but I'm probably what I would want to see for that is I want to see price actually reverse, give me the long that I was looking for, and then short that for continuation. Super bummed I missed that. Like I was ready to get in on this candle, closing below this volume imbalance, hoping that it gave me something like in here, and you know, I could have done something like that. That was my hope, and only after did I realize that there was enough. So this mistake I made here is I saw this inversion, but I included this volume imbalance. But with this large of a wick on this preceding candle, probably should have just omitted it because I could have marketed in on this candle and then just got like 3R within 2 minutes. So I wrote that down. I'll document that as a lesson. You know, I'm here to perfect my craft. I'm not here to make, oh boy. And I don't have SMT. So now what we'll probably see is we'll see this retracement back into all this inefficient price action above us. Geez, no SMT. No SMT. So maybe I would have done something like this. Where's 3? So here's the first sign of a reversal. Looking like we might get a 15-minute C2 candle. But I can't take it. And that's okay. I'm feeling like I could potentially be off sides here. But like I said, I expect some means of retracement. And would have been fine being off sides. Trying to take that retracement. All 3 assets are in sync. They're all forming some form of a reversal pattern. Unless I'm just blind and not seeing the SMT. My indicator hasn't picked it up on any chart. I haven't picked it up on any time frame. Oh, not closing above here. So it's looking to be a little bearish. It already touched this fair value gap. It doesn't need to keep going. The gap being right like that, but it already rebalanced this. If it were bullish, it would continue, and it still might. Maybe it consolidates for a candle or two, but already I'm kind of doubting a long right there. Which, what does it matter? I don't have an SMT, so I can't take a trade here. Looking like it's going to fail anyway. Looks like we're heading for previous week's low, previous day low. That actually could have been a continuation short potentially. Let's look. No SMT there either. But I wouldn't be stoked about shorting at this point. We've taken so much sell side liquidity that I would want to see it come back up, take some buy side, and then continue for more sell side. So I'm okay with letting all this go. It's still, that channel is forming super interestingly, like perfectly. Really weird. And reminding myself, it is the Monday before NFP. I've never seen that before. Not that it hasn't happened. I've seen NFP Thursday, NFP Friday, not NFP Tuesday. And after a big expansion like that, it is possible we can see some consolidation down in this zone too. There's 1,000 ticks delivery right there in half an hour. This is definitely the kind of price action that I want to log out from. Strange candlesticks. SMTs not forming. There's so few SMTs on this chart. We had one 15-minute SMT up at the top with that short opportunity that I missed. And I feel like it's going to be potentially one of those days where like that's the trade. All right, we're outside of the macro. So I don't see myself having a trade. Well, I don't know. I'm eyeballing previous week's low, and I would expect a response there, but that's against order flow. So it's just really heavy. But I'm going to take a 5-minute break until the next macro anyway. Okay. All right, got water, got my breakfast. That was my jazz music getting picked up on the mic. A little bit. So here's the previous week's low, previous day low, previous month equilibrium. There's a lot of reason to see some response down in here. There's starting to be some potential for bullish SMT. Quite the sell-off though, and I don't like opposing these massive sell-offs because I know I'm probably off sides. It's just a zone in which you can reasonably anticipate some kind of reaction. There's so much inefficiency against order flow. Like that's a breakaway gap. Here's another gap. Don't even need that marked. So here we obviously have bearish order flow. Which is fine because it kind of, there's all this inefficiency below us that's been spooking me out. I feel like at this point, I would like to be more patient for a short. Got a feeling it's not going to give me anything today, which is okay. If there's any day I don't want to trade this week, today is that day. All right, new 15-minute candle. Yet another huge inefficiency. We are forming bullish SMT at the moment against this massive sell-off. Like, I kind of wish I had an eval account or something I could use here. So this meets all the criteria. The narrative is there saying there's all this liquidity above us still. But it's against order flow. Maybe it's worth a small risk shot. We'll try a small risk position. No closing above though. Shoot. Closed above the inversion, but I like to include the volume imbalance. And similar to maybe the other trade, maybe I shouldn't have. But I'm hoping this candle can close above somewhere close by. And I can do something like that. It's not wanting to do it, so I'm going to take that as a sign of lack of bullish order flow. Because I also want to be careful with this kind of a move. A consolidation is certainly likely. And I don't want to get chopped up in that. Cotton consolidation against order flow. So that's not what I want to do. So we've taken some major liquidity. It's such a prime spot for a reversal. But it's against order flow. There's a possibility of consolidation. I think that's enough for me. I don't think I'm gonna have anything I want to partake of in here. Maybe later I'll come back if there's a short, because that's what I want. But I would also expect some kind of retracement now. So I just don't like this. What's ES and NQ doing? So ES rebalanced into its inefficiency. YM came back, did the same thing. So they're in sync at least. Just make some notes of why I'm not interested in this. And yeah, I think I'll call that a day. I'm good with no trades today. I think preserving capital is a position. No trades is a position. I missed that short this morning. I was ready to go in with the next candle close and it just dumped without me. So bummer on that one. I can still be excited though that I read it right enough. What I mean by that is like I had a bias, I had a narrative. I knew when it would be switching contexts. And I feel pretty happy that I would have felt confident enough in this setup despite some of the hesitancies that were presenting to me. I really don't like to get into trades so close to 930, but still would have played out. So that's pretty sweet. And that's part of the positive. Like you got to see what you did good today. You know, I called this right. I so far called it all right, and that like I'm just staying out of this. I don't have a model to get in. I need to at some point develop a model to get into order flow like this, but at the moment I don't, so I stay out. And I feel like that's a huge win. Being hesitant here, I think that so far is a win. So today's, you know, a good day too. Even though you don't get a trade, it would also suck to have been down on the day too. So I'll take that. And today's, again, a day I don't really want to risk much anyway. So I guess part of it is if I'm sitting here like wanting to lower my risk because I know it's a lower probability day, then maybe I shouldn't be trading at all. It's kind of the thinking. Like if I'm not willing to put up normal risk, maybe that says I shouldn't be doing it. I don't know, something to think about going forward. So other than that, I think I'll wrap it up here. I'll be live tomorrow and streaming for the rest of this week.